Okay, so this video is to give you some insight as to the power of the OmeGold product. And OmeGold is the perfect partner with Daily Biobasics to provide the absolute complete foundation, which nourishing and cleansing your body are critical. And this is the absolute partner for nourishing because it's high in two really important nutrients, both of which are very difficult to get for most people, and most people don't get enough of them. One is omega-3 fatty acids, and the other is vitamin D. And so just a little backdrop on the omega-3 fatty acids. Most everybody knows that fish oil is important. It's sort of like saying that fruit is important. But what people don't really understand typically is why it's important. And it's because of the omega-3s that are in the right quality of fish oils. The challenge with getting omega-3s in general is that there's a shortage of them in the food supply. And so you need to get them from eating fresh fish. And fresh fish can be expensive. And also, if you're eating enough fish, you have to run the risk of mercury contamination, which is it's just a fact of life in today's world. So supplementing it is a really important thing to do because you really need about 1 gram a day. So here's just a few nuggets on omega-3s. They help maintain and manage your cholesterol balance in your body. They prevent heart disease. They're good for healthy bones. They're part of healthy skin. They help reduce inflammation. They can improve brain function, improve mood, and that's just some of the stuff that omega-3s are used for. So you need 1 gram a day for good health. You need much more than that to deal with health issues, significant amounts more than that. And so most people, are not getting that. They're not eating fish enough because fish can be expensive, and of course, you have the mercury issue. And some people say, well, I'll eat farm-raised, but farm-raised are high in omega-6 because farm-raised are fed corn, and they don't have omega-3s in corn. And so you have to supplement that nutrient. The other side of the OmeGold equation is the vitamin D. And everything I'm giving you, you can find in studies and research on your own as well. I just happened to call it all so that I could have it for you. 65% of Americans are basically deficient in vitamin D, and half of young adults. And that is a significant thing. Deficiency in vitamin D leads to doubling your risk of cancers like colon, breast, prostate, increased risk of diabetes, increased risk of heart disease, increased risk of bone problems and like osteoporosis, because if you don't get enough vitamin D, you can't properly absorb calcium. And then so your body will have to take it out of the bones where it's stored, because the body uses calcium for a lot of stuff, including metabolism and fat burning and all kinds, it's just used in all kinds of cardiovascular functions. So anyway, decreased risk in immune function and increased risk of depression. That's just some basic stuff. I mean, most people are familiar with the fact that, in fall and winter, that's when people get sick more often, and that's when they're a lot lower emotionally. And that's because their vitamin D levels are at the lowest they're going to be in the year. Here's one study. Higher levels of vitamin D could reduce breast and colorectal cancers by 600,000 cases a year, and 150,000 in the U.S. That's just a study on what would happen if levels were higher. The challenge with vitamin D is the recommended value for what people should get is ridiculous. If you go out on a bright sunny day in the middle of June in an area of your country where it's in the right latitude, longitude, where you can get the rays of the sun and manufacture your vitamin D, your body will make like 10,000 units in an hour or two. And that's telling you that's what your body wants. Your body doesn't do what it doesn't want to do. We might make it do that every now and then, but not as a normal course. It wants the vitamin D because of how important it is to all its functions. But yet we're told we should get 600 units or to 800 units a day. If that's what you get, you'll be sick a lot, and you'll be at high risk for getting sicker. And so there's actually a movement afoot to increase that. But you really need a couple thousand units a day. That's really what you need, and you're not going to get that from drinking 20 glasses of milk. You need to supplement it. And so this product puts them both together for you. Really rich, deep cold water, purified oil. By the way, the mercury comes from the meat of the fish, not the oil. And so this is a very purified oil that's high in the DHA and EPA. DHA is the omega-3 that's great for your brain and your heart. And then it's high in the vitamin D. Each capsule is labeled 800 units of vitamin D. And actually, we put 1,000 in there, and we are a small batch manufacturer. We put 1,000 in there when we started. But you have to label it what it would be if it sat on the shelf for a little while. And so it's labeled as 800 units. So you're getting an enormous amount of vitamin D and your omega-3s in one product here. So that's what makes it the perfect partner.